Back on HPL PSL Pitside Studio, and what a win once again for Quetta Gladiators. It seems things are coming together rather nicely for Quetta Gladiators this season. It's been two back-to-back wins. They've got a great combination going. The balance of the side is looking really well. Lahore Qalandars, well, there's plenty to reflect on their part. They're the home side. Remember, they are the defending champions. But for now, we've got to celebrate Quetta Gladiators because they've started off so well, courtesy a brilliant bowling performance as well. Speaking of the bowling performance, I've got a very, very special guest here with me, Akeal Hosein, and Dooley joins us for the first time in the HPL PSL Pitside Studio. So welcome to both of you. Welcome to Pitside. Akeal, I'm just going to start off with you. I mean, you came all the way from Australia, then you were in Dubai, now you're here in Pakistan. You were with a different franchise last year with Multan, reached the finals as well. But here you're with Quetta and you've started off really well. So just initial thoughts on the fact that you started the tournament on a winning note.
Very happy to start on a winning note. I think this has been a difficult tournament, flat pitches, you know, guys in form. So to come here and get a win against the defending champs, pretty happy with that.
Just on your bowling performance then, I mean, what was the key in these conditions? I mean, were you looking to vary your pace? What was the mindset when you were coming out to bowl?
I think, as you say, in these conditions, it's been challenging for bowlers, as we can see last year before that. So I think you try and do a specific job against whoever the opposition may be. And you try and keep it simple as well. It's not a pitch that you can go searching for wickets. I think if you exploit something early and it's working, then you try and stick to that as much as possible.
Dooley, you've obviously followed Quetta Gladiators' journey as well, and they've got a brilliant addition in the form of Akeal Hosein. He's been playing all around the world. What was impressive for you about Akeal today?
I've seen him for the last month as well. We've talked quite a bit because he's bowled so well in the last month. I seem to be talking to him on a regular basis. But I just think the control with that arm ball has been the key. I mean, the one that you bowled to Khawaja Nafay that just missed the bat, the off stump, and Safraz as well. Probably the ball of the night that didn't get a wicket. Yeah. How's the frustration level when you get that edge that floats away to Mohamed Wasim Jr. early? You think you've got one and then it goes down. Just to have the wherewithal, for me, for him to stick to his processes and to be able to still come up with wicket-taking deliveries, even at times of adversity. I think that's been one of the key things. And just the way that arm ball is coming out, we talked about it a little bit in Dubai. How impressive is that? And you're still just working on anything at all, or is it just those two deliveries?
There are a couple of deliveries that I'm working on. But with that being said, sometimes you don't get to really try them in the matches because the matches might be a little tense or the situation may not call for it. But it's something that I'm definitely working on my off time, and hopefully, you know, that the situation arises where I can slip in a couple different deliveries.
What are they? Can you let us in on a little secret? Are we looking for a Zuta? Are we looking for one that's sort of the carom ball?
Yeah, definitely that one for sure. But for me, it's going to be a little different. My fingers aren't long enough to bowl like two fingers with it. So for me, it's a one-finger delivery. So it's quite challenging, but I am putting in the work for it.
At the back end of the UAE, the wicket started to turn a bit more. Are you thinking more arm balls on these types of surfaces because they are so flat?
Yeah, I think that's a good call on pitches like these where it's basically, you know, slim margin for error. You have to work with whatever is working on the day. So if I turn up and it's actually gripping, I'm going to stick to that. If it's swinging more, so I'm going to stick to that. I thought today was a little bit of both. It spun and it was swinging nicely. So, you know, it was good to be able to have those two deliveries to go at. And yeah, I think for me, it's just about whatever is working on the day. You try and stick to that as much as possible. And then maybe when you get outside of the power play, maybe you could try and vary and try different deliveries.
I'm loving all these plans that you've got, Akeal. But just on the influence that, you know, somebody like Viv Richards and Shane Watson, you're talking about stalwarts of the game, plenty of experience. What's the environment like around them? What kind of messaging do you get from these legends?
Definitely two different characters. You know, Sir Viv is very pumped and he gets you going, you know, he puts you in that frame of mind to listen, go out there and dominate. No matter what, no matter who the opposition is, you go out there and you dominate. And then when you have Watto on the other hand, he's making sure that from a mental perspective, you're all ready to go out there and execute. And it's all about backing yourself, believing in yourself. And at the end of the day, once you do those things and you have your process, there's nothing else you can do but go out and execute.
Are you going to talk to Viv and to Watto about the pull shot? That first ball you got was a beauty, wasn't it?
I mean, at that position there, for me, it was just about doing whatever it takes to get the team over the line. I know sometimes us as cricketers, we can let the ego get the better of us and try and take on things and then, you know, push the game further in their direction. So for me, now coming in, you know, my role was pretty simple. Get off strike and get the inform and set batter to finish the game.
Well, certainly the influence of these legendary players is going to make a difference to Quetta Gladiators. Already is, you know, we call Viv the lucky charm for Quetta Gladiators. But I'm going to let you off now so that you can go and unwind and relax a bit. Thank you so much for your thoughts. And of course, we'll see you, much more of you in the HPL PSL. And in case you guys have missed out on the summary and everything that happened earlier on, let's have a revisit of what happened. This is what it looks like. Lahore Qalandars 187 for 7 in their 20 overs. Fakhr Zaman as well as Jahandad. Let's not forget Jahandad, how impressive he was. But in response, Quetta Gladiators made it rather look easy, although it went down to the last over, but there were some brilliant performances. Let's not forget that South Akeal is the one who set the platform at the top, and this is the second time he's done that. And Khawaja Nafay is the guy to watch out for. He's done well overall in the BPL. We saw him last year, and he's been quite the find. I've now been joined by Dominic, Coke, and Dooley's with us as well. Koki, I was speaking to Sarfraz Ahmed, and he was mentioning about Khawaja Nafay, and he said he's been a talent that's been spotted on Facebook. The power of social media has got no experience under him. Literally just posted a video on Facebook and was spotted. It's quite an amazing story.
It's not just sport, is it? I think everybody does it. You know, I think it was a singer from One Direction who started to play with, I think, 3 singers from Karachi. It's the way to do it. If you want to be spotted by anybody and you haven't got the platform, say on a cricket pitch, put it on the Instagram, put it on Facebook, get yourself in there. But what a player. Some of them shots, you know, and you've watched a lot of T20 cricket. We're talking about serious pace here with Harris Ralph. And some of those shots, the way that he just got himself in position. You know, you think about the 2 coaches, you know, in Shane Watson and Viv Richards. They must be licking their lips thinking, just get this man in. It's brilliant to see, and that's what's good about these competitions. You unearth some talent, and we seem to get it every year with the Pakistan Super League, and may it continue.
Composure as well, I think, to finish the game off.
Yeah.
We just heard from Akeal, you know, talk about when you get in, get set, finish the job, get the job done. For a young man at 21 in his first season, in a pressure situation, up against high-quality bowling, finish the job. That's what you want. He didn't play a rash shot and get out.
No.
He actually got the job done, got his team over the line, and I think that says a lot about the character as well.
Do you know what the hardest thing was tonight? We have to consider who is player of the match, right? And it was down to me today. And I wanted to go Akeal because of the way that he bowled in the power play. It's so difficult. He specialises in it. 4 overs, 2 for 17, gets rid of Fakhr early on. But that young man, to play that sort of innings, I just couldn't go any further. I had to say to Akeal, sorry, mate, he just took the player of the match off you, but he deserved it. It's been brilliant. They look to me a different team. And this isn't having to go at Sarfraz as captain. No, he's not captain anymore. They look more relaxed. They look like they're enjoying themselves. Of course, when you win, you do that. And they look a completely different side.
Well, we're talking about how these leagues, Dooley, are all about discovering new raw young talent, and we saw another one in the form of Jahandad Khan from Lahore Qalandars. I mean, quite the blistering knock it was by him, Dooley.
I had to ask Mazhar, our statistician next door to me, what you know about, and the only thing, I mean, he averages 13, so this sort of an innings doesn't come all that often, but the one thing he said to me was they know and they've seen he's got real raw power, and I think we had a glimpse of that today with his 45 today. I love the way he stands there and hits the ball. There's not too much to worry about. He doesn't move his feet a lot. He's just got really long levers and seems to hit the ball really cleanly. And when you've got a player like that who you promote, probably going to bat 7 or 8 in most innings, when you promote him up the order, you want him to come off 2 or 3 times in 10 games. He's done it once. If he can do that 2 or 3 times in 10 games, he'll win you more than he'll lose you. And I thought, I thought it was impressive tonight. Good coaching as well.
Yeah.
To see that opportunity to put him up the order.
I think we were all surprised, apart from Ian Bishop, who said he wasn't surprised he was put up the order. But who would obviously argue with Ian Bishop? But brilliant. That's what it's about, unearthing people. It's about, as a coach, it's about giving people responsibility, but also just giving them a free rein. Go out there, enjoy yourself. You're on a world stage. You're playing cricket. What else would you want to be doing? And it's great, and to see these young players and these players are unearthed every year doing well.
Shaheen touched upon the fact that their fielding definitely needs to improve, and we've seen that Dolly in these two games. It's definitely been their weak point.
Fielding's an attitude thing for me. It really is. You have to want the ball to come to you, and so often you see with drop catches, or I mean that was a tough chance. Those ones tend to either stick or not stick. That should have been taken. It was pretty comfortable. That should have been taken, but you don't have a genuine wicketkeeper. You have a part-time keeper. Later on in the tournament, if the wickets start getting a little bit tired and the spinners start to take a bit more play, you want a genuine wicketkeeper. So they need to improve that side of things. A few of them will come back for naughty boy training tomorrow.
What about Haris Rauf? I have to talk about him as well, because it has always been a, you go to him as a match winner, somebody who can get you wickets. But for the last few games, even at the national level, he's sort of struggled with his form, conceding about 11 runs and over. Is it a cause of worry at all for Lahore Qalandars, or is it too premature to say?
It's a worry because he's a very experienced bowler. Of course he is. You want him to not lead the attack, but when he gets the opportunity is to take wickets. He's always going to be a sort of bowler who's going to concede runs because of his pace. But what you want from somebody of Haris Rauf's stature is to actually show up on the day and do it. It's not a worry. I'd still be very confident that he can win you games, but maybe I think Shaheen Shah Afridi has to use him slightly differently, and it's hard for them because they're missing quality spin bowlers. I know Sikandar Raza was back today, and it's difficult for him, and that's why when I was on commentary I thought, could they have bowled an over of spin in the power play? And I know, it's a specialised thing. Akeal Hosein showed that. But I think just to mix it up, when you play against Lahore Qalandars, it's going to be one of those three bowling in the first 6 overs. Shaheen Shah Afridi, Zaman Khan, Haris Rauf. So you know that. So why not do something different? But for me, he's a class bowler. He's not obviously at top form at the moment. But I think we all know he can get there.
I just think he's a bit confused.
Yeah.
I honestly look at him now and I think he's a bit confused about what to do. I'd love to see the coach just take him aside and say, hang on a minute. What I want you to do with that brand new ball is just bowl some hard line and length. Don't worry about your Yorkers. We'll get to that at the back end of the innings. I want you to start hitting a line and length, because at 145, if a bloke can hit you downtown outside of Virat Kohli in the World Cup, not many are ever going to be able to do that.
Good luck.
So at 145 to 150, hit that good test match line and length for the first 2 overs. Don't try too much different. If you want to bowl a bouncer, go and bowl a bouncer. But I just think he's a little bit confused about his role and where he's at in his action at the moment as well. Put a cone out, put one of those little discs out that they get. I want you to bowl 2 overs, 3 overs, 4 overs and hit that. Just start to hit a nice hard line and length. We can set a field for that in the power play and let's see what happens there. I just think he's confused.
Having done a little bit of coaching, bowlers overthink it nowadays. They're overthinking. They're actually trying to get into the batter's head. What is he thinking? Forget about what he's thinking down there. Guess what? He's under pressure. I don't care whether you're Jason Roy, whoever it is. You're under pressure. I'm bowling 147. I can still actually get you out. So, Dooley's spot on. A good test match length is still a good length in T20. It's still a good length in 50 over. And if, like he said, unless a Virat Kohli hits you back over the head, if he does that, you just have to accept it and say, OK, he's at a very good ball. Let's see if he can do it again. Give him another go. And then if you want to bowl a bouncer, it's about being clever. I call it about these smarts, cricket smarts. Go to the big side of the boundary, stick 2 men back, bowl a short delivery. If he hits you over the head for 6, OK, we're under pressure now.
Yeah, he's just lost out on a central contract as well. I mean, obviously in terms of confidence, when you look at any bowlers around the world, anyone can go through a bad patch. We know that, but it's really about lifting themselves and sort of getting the basics right, like you rightly pointed out. Anyway, moving forward, Lahore Qalandars. I mean, Dooley, what do they need to do overall as a side to change their fortunes?
Look, I mean, they obviously the fielding is an attitude thing. If they can pick that up, if they can get that right, it kind of filters through the rest of the team. I don't think they batted poorly today. I think they were probably 15 runs short, but their bowling and their fielding really let them down. They could have defended that total today. Another wicket or so, I think they could have defended that total or so, and the fielding just needs to improve.
I know we're trying to get off air quite quick. I'd say one thing: you win the toss.
Yeah, don't bowl.
See this here? You can see it. It's called due. So it's going to slide on when you're chasing. They obviously, it didn't happen the first game. That's where I'd be thinking, you know, let's think about chasing under lights and do that way. Maybe that's another way. But he's right. Fielding's an attitude. Get your team to turn up and produce.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Quick look at what we've got for you. The action continues on the HBL PSL. It's Multan Sultans. They are taking on Islamabad United. Multan started off on a winning note. Islamabad United as well, so it should be a good contest in Multan. We've got an off day here in Lahore, but we will be seeing you very soon for the next one. Today was magnificent, Lahore. You've been amazing in terms of the turnout, and we've had a spectacular game of cricket. That's all that we have for you from here. We'll see you next time. Until then, it's goodbye.